Hey everybody, it's Shop Time with Dave back at you. Well, we're back at the KCD again. So let me get you flipped around. We're going to talk about what we're going to try to get done this time around. So the primary goal of this video, by the time it's over, I would like to see this back here bolted up to down there. Oh yeah. But we got a little ways to go before we can do that. And so we got to start with where I screwed up again. So when I started tearing this motor down, I thought to myself, I better not strip any paint until the whole thing is all put back together so none of the junk gets on the inside of it. Well, that is a failed strategy, because what I discovered is there's a governor housing and magneto drive that goes right here. Well, once that's installed, I won't be able to paint back there, nor will I be able to clean back there. All right. That said, come around to the front. I can't put the timing cover on until the governor is in so they can be timed. Therefore, I guess the first thing to do is get that governor housing and magneto housing cleaned up and ready to put on here. And then on top of that, going from record lows to record highs in December, January in the Midwest of Ohio, we had a bunch of humidity pull in, and where we've cleaned already has begun to rust. So I suppose that probably needs cleaned up a little bit too. So here we are at the bench, and you can see just how dirty this governor assembly is. Look at all that junk. I don't think we want that in our motor. Never mind the nasty looking paint. And then look at this. Ugh. Looks like we need to clean that up, and I got a little bit of paint, some case orange paint, to throw on the back of this, so once it's up on the block, there'll already be paint on it and we won't have to try to get it behind there. So I guess our first step in this video is going to be go ahead and get this cleaned up. Like usual, I'll just show you a little bit of that and then finish it on my own, because you don't want to watch an hour's worth of dust flying all over the place. Let me get you on the tripod. Well, I got my arsenal of various cleaning tools here. I think you've seen me use all this stuff before. And like always, we just got to get in here and do it. Like always, we're going to take our needle gun. We'll get down into the tight spots. Well, as you can see, I got most of the paint off of it. Right now on these rough castings, you never get all of it. So the next thing is see if we can get some of the junk out of here. And I'm just going to start with the air hose and try to blow some of the junk out of it. You guys see it? Hey, look at this. Some genius must have gone in here and marked the timing mark with paint already. Must have been me. Well, fellas, surprisingly, that did a lot better job than what I anticipated. There's still a little bit of goo here and there, and I'll see what I can do to clean that up. Maybe a little brush with some kerosene on it or something. See what I can come up with. What do you know? I found an old dirty brush, a little bit of kerosene. See if we can get in here and clean these up. Let's see if we can get a little acetone on there. Clean the kerosene remnants off and my fingerprints and such. Look at that. Ew. All right. I think we're ready to hang this up and put just a little bit of paint on it where we're not going to be able to get to it once it's mounted on the block. Okay. Well, unfortunately the light up above me is burned out, so it's going to be a little dark. We're going to shoot a little primer on this back side, only where I'm not going to be able to get to when this is installed and all together and we're ready to do the real painting. Just throw a little bit of primer back here. So in my next genius move, I've covered up these holes with some duct tape because, well, it was sitting here and it's old and it's crappy. But anyway, I want to try to keep any of the dirt, junk and goo and whatever out of our freshly cleaned up engine inside. Kind of covered up our gears a little bit too. I hope that is enough to keep them clean, keep the inside clean while we come in here and strip all of this. Yeah, I should have done that while this block was totally stripped down, and I wasn't smart enough to do that because I thought it'd be better to wait till it was all back together, and then that idea doesn't work. But anyway, found this interesting. I'm guessing whoever owned this tractor was awful proud of it at some point in time because they took the time to highlight all these letters in silver paint. So anyway, I bet it broke their hearts when that motor locked up on them. But anyway, so our next step is to get you back on the tripod and start cleaning some more paint. So I want to know, do you all out there in YouTube land hate watching stripping paint as much as I hate stripping paint? Tell me down there in the comments. we'll just do a little bit here and see how this goes. Then I'll finish it up off camera. So right in this area is where we need to focus right now. This is where that governor and magneto housing is going to bolt on. So that's our focus point. The rest of this, yeah, I'm hitting it a little bit, just getting it started. We can finish that later on. Well, I suppose we're ready for some color. We just got a old magic paint here. Yeah, I know it's cheap, but I don't want to put big money into paint on this tractor because it's going to get dirty. It's going to get chipped. It's going to fade. And it's going to spend the vast majority of its time inside, out of the sunlight. So it's going to be just fine. And it's cheap and readily available. Anyway, we're going with the Case Orange. At least that's what the Magic brand calls it. The purists will say it should be Flambeau Red. But anyway, let's see if we can get some color on this guy. Look at old Abe. He's down there. He's looking at us. Come on, man. Give me some paint. See what we got over here. That little spot right there, that'll be hard to get. You guys see that? Hey, I'm gonna have to get some new lights in here. Whatever. Man, that's gonna look nice. Alrighty. We'll bring it back when there's something else to see. Okay, just to show you, I did do the same treatment as before and go over this with some acetone and wiped it down. Get any oils off of it. And then we'll hit her with some primer again. Remember, we're not trying to get the whole block. We just want to get where it's going to be covered up. I don't know about y'all, but I think it's kind of exciting when you start seeing the first bit of color go on. Something like this. For his first coat, it goes on pretty thin. Well, we got 3 thin layers of the Case Orange on here. And on camera, it looks a lot brighter than what it does in person. Oh well. So, at this point in time, we're just stuck playing the waiting game until it dries up enough that we can do a little more work. I'll bring it back when I can. Alright. I think we're ready to see if we can get this new gasket put on here. Then we can get this bolted up to the motor block. Got our high-tack Happy Juice. It's ready to go on the machine, boys. Alright, let's see if we can do this and actually get it lined up. We got our gasket sealer on there. Get this bolt. I did clean these holes out with a thread tap. And there we have it. I wanted to show you up front here. Our challenge was getting these beveled gears to line up and line up correctly. We got 2 dots here and 1 dot here. It kept on wanting to go to one side or the other, but not the right one. Finally, we prevailed. It's there. This motor's in time. And I think we can probably go ahead and put the timing cover on now. What do you guys think about that? Alright, we're back with the high tack. We'll get us a bead around here. And we'll be ready to slide this timing cover on. Do it on pretty nice right here because no bolt that holds it to the oil pan. Alright, we got us a nice little bead of that around there. Make sure we don't want to lose this plunger. Springs in there. Let's see if we can slide it on. Somehow, on this one stud, I managed to lose the nut, but I still had the lock washer. And we're getting some spring tension. And we got another step out of the way. So here's the flywheel. It's got a lot of junk on it from being on the floor and having stuff worked on over the top of it. And it runs in oil. So that just adds to the junk. This bearing's awful nasty. I have to work on that. Let's start by seeing what happens if we blow it off. Well, that's a start. Back to the wire brush. Well, I broke some stuff loose. And old Abe, he sticks his head up everywhere, doesn't he? Well, I'll continue working on this and bring it back when we're ready. Yeah, I think we got this backside cleaned up as good as it needs to be. And with just a little bit of fiddling, like maybe 2 seconds. Maybe not even that, this bearing freed right up. Probably just had a piece of paint chip or something stuck in it. So let's flip this big heavy thing over and see what the other side looks like. Oh, yucky. Let me bring you in closer for a second. Look at that. I must have been smart when I took this apart and marked it so I know exactly where it goes back together again. At least I did something right, right? Well, since this runs in oil, I think all we're going to do is clean this up and put it back together. I don't see any burn spots on it anywhere. It's just dirty. So I'm just going to clean it and it'll be ready to go back together, guys. Okay, let's see how bad of an idea this is going to be. All right, everybody. First time in 2 years it's been off them horses. Now that that's out of the way, I can get in here and clean this bell housing out. We'll start by getting the rust and residue of the old gasket off of there. That's a start. Next step, vacuum. See if we can wipe it out just a little bit with some solvent. I guess I can make a gasket for this now, huh? You guys watch me make plenty of gaskets, so I'll do that off camera. And probably bring it back when it's time to put the flywheel on. Let's try this. This thing's flipping heavy. So I got my number 1 right here. And I got a number 1 right here. Let's see if we can line it up. Let's try a different angle. Maybe if I'm down here where I can see it, it'll help. Okay, we got one started. There we go. Quite the challenge. All right, they're all started. Now that they're all started, see if we can run them in real quick. Do our crisscross pattern. Now that this is on here, I do remember that being hard to pull off. like a struggle hard. All right. Now I'll go look up the torque specs and we'll torque this in correctly. All right, so going all the way through the service manual. For whatever reason, I could never find the torque spec for these nuts. But a quick Google search turned up 50 foot-pounds. So let's see what we can do. I'm just going to start at 20. Do this a little bit of a crisscross pattern. And 50. Go around one more time to check. I think we're ready for a clutch. Let's see if we can put a clutch in. So I've said it several times before, this whole clutch runs in oil, so I'm not super worried about getting it all cleaned up because it's just going to get like immediately nasty with oil anyway. So anyways, I went over to lathe and made up this little alignment tool. It wasn't anything interesting to watch. I barely took any material off at all because it was almost ready or to the right size anyway. So let's see if we can put this together. Make sure we're lined up. Get a bolt ready to go. See how many problems we run into. You ever feel like you need more hands? This is the stuff that nobody else shows. Alright, they're all started. See if we can run them in. And once again, I had to find this one on the old Googler. It is 35. So let's go around all of them on 20 first. I don't know if this really needs a sequence. Go around one more time to make sure I didn't miss any. Alright, let's bump her up to 35. There's 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once more around for good luck. We got us a clutch, boys. Gonna need a magnet to pull that out. See if this little guy's strong enough. See if we can work it out of there with this here screwdriver. We got it. I think we're almost ready to slide this into the bell housing. Okay, so we're ready to slide this engine into place. I got our gasket on here, and it's all gooped up with the high-tack gasket sealer. The case was nice enough that they give us this access panel over here on the side that I'm sure we're going to need, so we can reach in, rotate the splines as needed, and then we have to make sure that these little cutouts line up with these dogs as we slide it all together. So I'm going to guess that this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Let's get you up on the tripod and see what we can do. Here we go. Trying to rock it to get the splines to line up. This is definitely the most difficult part of this process. Getting everything to line up and slide together. I gotta continually reach in there and feel to make sure everything's coming together and lined up. The frustration, it builds. What if we try turning the crank a little bit? Well, 20 minutes and we've gotten nowhere. All right, I took a little break and I came back out here and I wiggled on it and I think we got it started. See if we can push it in. I think we're close enough to put some bolts in it. We've got some interesting looking shoulder bolts. Let's see if we can tap that in. No, we didn't damage the threads there. The threads weren't tight. They're just kind of sticky on some dirty, greasy goo in that hole. Got Luke Strasser's favorite tools here. At least Ricky and Toby would be proud. Let me see if I can move you over to the other side and we'll get the next one in. Here we go. Like a glove. Yeah. Hold on a second, we'll grab some more bolts. I caught you slacking while y'all was going off and getting a sandwich. I got the bolts in on the other side. Let's throw them in on this side real quick. This special bolt here was an alignment bolt. Probably wasn't supposed to come out. All right, finally. So for the time being, I'm going to leave those other bolts just kind of finger tight like that, because there's some other brackets that get bolted onto there, and there's no point in tightening them up just to take them back off again. Well, we got the hoist rolled out of the way, and we're just supported on that jack stand there. That oil pan's plenty strong enough to hold it. I mean, hell, that oil pan acts as the damn frame of the tractor. Or at least holds the front end onto the back end, however you want to look at it. So, hey, and got the hoist folded up and out of the way, so we got a little more floor room in here. Well, we're at the end of another one, guys. This one took a little longer than I anticipated it, by about 2 weeks. A lot of stuff been going on. We did manage to somewhat get the lathe working, so that's been going on in the background. A lot of long days at work, slowing down the progress here. Yeah, there's some other things going on too we don't really need to talk about. But anyway, we're making progress. I don't know what the next video will be for you, so you're just going to have to come back and look. See what Shop Time with Dave has for you. Till next time, thanks for watching.